Public Library. We miss seeing all of our patrons here in person so much, but we are so excited to see you all on social media and joining us for our Facebook Live events. So I have with me today some no-sew t-shirt crafts to share, but before I get into those, I wanted to let my Teen Advisory Board members know that we'll be having a tab meeting at the end of May, and I will email you with more details on that soon, and I will provide my email address so you can contact me as well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into our crafts here. Like I said, I have 4 no-sew crafts. So I have this dog toy that is a braided t-shirt strip dog toy, a t-shirt tassel. My personal favorite is the bag that we're going to be making out of our t-shirts, and then a mask for all of our health concerns right now. So I'm going to clear these off, and we will start with our dog toy. So with the t-shirt strip dog toy, you need at least 2 t-shirts if you want it to be multicolored. I have 3 here, so we can go Team Patriot, blue and white and red. Now I already have half of my t-shirts here in my sample, so what you're going to do is across the bottom of your t-shirt, so here's your the front of your t-shirt, across the bottom, you're going to make about 2 3-inch snips so that you have kind of a fringe all the way across. And then this is the really fun part, is you're just going to rip that all the way down, and then you have your strip that you're going to be working with. So I'm going to go ahead and do one of those in each color, and then we're going to get to the fun part. I mean, this is the fun part, but the part where you have a toy. My foster puppy really loved to help with the ripping part, so if you have a canine companion, they can definitely help with that part. And then once you have your colors all ripped out, you're going to line up your strips. So you want to make your ends as even as possible. Doesn't matter if they don't all completely line up, but you're going to get your strips and then tie off. So I actually need 2 more strips. I forgot to tie them off. Tie off your ends. So there's one, and here's another. And so I'm just going to knot that together really quickly. Just a simple overhand knot. I forgot, you will need scissors. Kind of snip that off. And then all you have to do from this point is just a braid. So you just divide your t-shirt strips into even sections. Where are we at? Here we go. So I have 9 strips in this, so we have 3 sections of 3 strips. And then you're just going to braid all the way down. Which is kind of hard to do on a table, so if you have someone who can hold the end for you, that's great. I like to sit crisscross applesauce and hold it between my feet if that's possible. Not really crisscross applesauce, but you know what I mean. And then you're going to braid your strips down to however long you want. It could depend on the size of your dog. My foster puppy was pretty big, so we had a pretty big rope. If you have a smaller dog, you can do a shorter rope. Or if you want to have a really long tug-of-war rope, you could, go longer. So I'm going to go to right about there for our Facebook Live sample. And I'm going to take my other tie, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just come in and do a double knot right there. And then I'm just going to trim my ends up so that they're a little bit more matching. My scissors are not quite as sharp as hopefully your fabric scissors will be. And there we go. So that is our dog toy. So like I said, you know, if you have a canine companion who likes to help you rip fabric, they will have a blast with that. And I think that is going to move us right along into our t-shirt bag. So this is my t-shirt bag that I made for a sample. Throw everything out all at once. This is from my French Club experience. So I'm going to be kind of using it to show you what I can't show you with our current sample. So you're going to start with your t-shirt, and I've already kind of cut this one up a little bit, but I wanted to show you guys some more. So one of the first things that you need to do is you're going to want to cut your sleeves off here, right behind the seam. So if you want to go ahead and turn your t-shirt inside out, that helps a lot. So you can actually see your seam, kind of see where you're cutting. So then you have your sleeve, and you can actually save this for other little fabric bits. If you want to do like little ribbons of a different color, you've got that. And then you're also going to cut your neckline out. And this is going to be the part of your bag where you drop your stuff in. So, got that. And then you need to figure out how deep you want your bag to be. So how much stuff do you want to fit? I'll use my paper here. So this is a paper from my planner. So if I want my bag to be big enough to hold my planner, I need for it to at least come to right here. So I'm going to fringe the bottom part of my t-shirt, and you want to do the top layer and the bottom layer. You want to keep them as even as possible because you're going to tie the ends. So I'm going to go ahead and the fringe can be whatever size you want it to be. You can do it on the inside of your bag, like I have with this one, so you don't see the fringe, or if you want the fringe to be on the outside of your bag. So I think I'm actually going to leave this one turned inside out. I don't like the logo on it very much, but I do like the color, so I'm going to leave this one inside out, I guess. So you just tie your fringe together, again, just a overhand knot. So you do it in kind of sections of 3. So I did one there. Here's our second one. This is kind of a little tricky part, but it's not too bad. So there's the second one and our third fringe. So you can go ahead and tie all of your fringe across the bottom, but I wanted to stop here and show you guys the part that's going to kind of keep it from falling out. So here, oops, we have a tiny hole between 2 of our fringe knots. I don't know if I can show. Let's see if I can stick my scissors through it so you can see. Which if you're carrying, you know, a pencil or anything like that, it's going to fall right out. Where is it? So, see, right there. So this next step kind of helps keep those closed as well. So you have 3 fringe knots tied. You're going to take 1 strand from your middle and 1 strand from your first fringe knot, and you're just going to tie those together. And that's going to close up the space between those 2 knots. And then you're going to take the other strand from your middle fringe and tie it to the next one. And you're just going to repeat that all the way across your fringe until you get to the end. And then, like I said, you can flip it back so that your shirt is right side out. If you don't want the fringe to be on the bottom, it's kind of hard to see with the black one, but there's all of the fringe. And then if you flip it inside out, you can't see see the fringe anymore, but the bottom of the bag is very nice and secure. So you can do that, or if you want your bag to be fringed, you can leave it. You might want to cut your fringe a little bit longer so it dangles a little bit more if you're going to do it that way. And then, yeah, you can use different colored t-shirt strips to decorate your bag with. So with my black one here, I used this bright blue fabric to kind of tie a bow on the straps. And there's that. So you can use those when you're grocery shopping, or when we are able to see you in person again, you can come and bring them to the library and take your books home in them. And the really nice thing about those is they're t-shirts. You can throw them in the washer and they're good, you know, nice and clean, good to go. Okay, so our next craft here is a t-shirt tassel. And I actually had this on my bag that I made earlier, so you know you can decorate with it, do all sorts of things with it. So I'm going to set the sample there. This one, you will want to use a ruler. You want to measure strips of your t-shirt in about, I did 2 centimeters because my fabric scissors are not very sharp, so I wanted to give myself a little bit of a leeway. But you're going to take a t-shirt, and I already have the sleeves cut off this one, but we don't need them. So you're going to cut right below where your sleeves are, and then you're going to cut the inseam off, because you don't want any seams for this part. So once you have kind of this middle section, you can measure and make your cuts so that you have your fabric strips. And I didn't want a very long tassel, so I actually ended up folding my fabric in half. So my fabric strips are only about half of a t-shirt, but you can do however long you want. And I found it easier too, when I was cutting the strips, to just take the fabric and kind of fold it up, so I didn't have quite as long of a cut to make. I could just kind of snip halfway and be done. But once you get kind of a handful of fabric strips, you want to line them up as evenly as possible, because you're going to trim the ends. So you want them to kind of, I almost had it there, to be nice and even. And then you're going to have kind of a pile of t-shirt strips that will make your tassel. And then to make your tassel secure, you're going to take, you can use the same color t-shirt, or you can use a different color. I really like this blue with the gray, so I'm going to make another tassel with the blue. So you're going to take 3 strips of your t-shirt, and they can be however long you want. If you want a really long handle on your tassel, you can even use 2 ropes and tie them together. I'm just going to do the 1. So again, you're just going to take your 3 sections and braid them, which is a little hard to do if you don't have someone holding down the end, or if you can tape it to the table, or like I said, hold it with your feet, whatever works. We'll get there. This is the long part. Sure. Okay. So much faster if someone's helping you with that part. And this is a great way to practice braiding if you have a willingness to learn that. If you don't know, you know, you're just kind of crisscrossing your strands together. You don't have any tangles in your hair after, so it's, you know, extra awesome. Okay, thank you. So once you get down to the end, you just tie that off. strips, and you want to make sure, let me trim that end so it doesn't confuse me. You're going to match your ends up and then just tie another knot across your tassels, and that is what's going to be securing them. So there's that. And then if you want to hide your knot that you just made, you can flip the tassels over, and then they'll kind of cover up the knot. And I'm going to go ahead and tie my little blue rope together so it makes its handle. And there we go. We're not quite done yet because we need to make sure our t-shirt strips don't slip. So we're going to make a cord and secure those. So to make a cord, you're going to take a t-shirt strip, and it'll be kind of flat still, like it's fabric. And we're just gonna kind of tug on it gently until it curls up and turns into almost kind of looks like a shoelace, just kind of a nice cord. And it gets a little bit longer, which is nice. So what you're gonna do is take that and tie it in a knot right underneath the rope. You can make it as tight as you want, or probably want it to be fairly tight, but and then you just wrap it around until you are covering the knot that you just made, and you want to cover up the end of the cord as well. So wrapping it, you can pull on it and make it a little bit tighter if you want. And then you're going to take, once you get it wrapped all the way around, you might rip your t-shirt a little bit if it's an older t-shirt, that's okay. You're just gonna take your end and poke it underneath where you've already wrapped. You can do this with scissors if you feel comfortable doing that, or a pencil will work, just something to kind of push that end underneath so it'll stay. So then you have a tassel, and we're just gonna clean up the ends with my scissors. Whoops, lost one, that's okay. And just kind of make those a little bit more even if we can. I haven't figured out what to do with my little trimmings yet, but once you've got them trimmed, your tassel is a little bit more even, and it looks a little bit more matching. So that is how you make a t-shirt tassel. And I hope you guys have fun with that one. That one was interesting for me to make. And I have one more, and I know this one is going to be pretty awesome for a lot of people. You have probably heard about wearing masks, and I know I have very little sewing experience, so I was really excited with this t-shirt pattern. And I'll share the link in a comment where you can find the pattern. It comes from jennifermaker.com. She's a blogger. She provided all of these no-sew masks for free, and you can print out all of the sizes. They have children's, adult, small, medium, large, all of that. And the great thing about these is they are 2 layers, which is really awesome. So I was able to use the sleeves of an oversized t-shirt, but I'm going to show you really quickly what to do with just a regular t-shirt if your sleeves aren't big enough. So when you're using a t-shirt, you just fold it in half, and then you're going to place your pattern along the fold because you want it to be both sides of the fabric. If you put it on this side, you're just gonna end up with just like a piece of fabric, which would be weird. And then you go ahead and cut all of the layers because you want the front of the t-shirt and the back of the t-shirt at the same time. So there's that. If your sleeves aren't large enough, sleeves on this particular shirt were. So I went ahead and traced the pattern out on my t-shirt sleeve here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out, and we'll get this show through. I am very, very mean to my fabric scissors, so they're not very sharp, but hopefully you guys have some sharper scissors. Okay. So there's that, and then you need, once you get here, I'm going to cut the hole for your ears, so shaped like a little heart. It's always the tricky part because I'm always afraid I'm going to cut my finger, so just be careful with that. But once you get in there, you just cut that out. And the nice thing about this pattern is when you do it with a folded t-shirt, you already have 2 layers, so you don't have to worry about having extra filtration or whatever. You could probably throw a coffee filter in there if you wanted to, or folded up paper towels. I haven't actually looked into that yet, but so when you're done cutting out your fabric, you'll have 2 layers, and then you're just going to overlap those. And when you put it on, you twist the ear loops so that it stays secure. So I'll try to maybe turn sideways. That'll help. So you fit over your mouth and you twist the ear loop. And there you go. So those are the t-shirt crafts that I have for you guys. I don't know if you guys have probably heard of Marie Kondo. I went through my closets a while ago, which is kind of where this idea came from. But we're so glad that you could join us today. I hope to see you guys here on Facebook again, and hope you guys are staying healthy and happy at home.